So, Harold Moukoudi, Middlesbrough's new loan signing from Saint Etienne. What to expect of the three players that have gone from Liga to the Championship in the last week or so? I think this is probably potentially the best compared to Nuno da Costa from Strasbourg. He's probably a little bit more experienced. Perhaps will hit the ground running a little bit easier. And John Kevin Augustin, who is a very exciting talent, but has been very up and down his career so far. I think Moukoudi is similar to Augustin in that regard, that he's an exciting prospect to some extent. He is 22 now, which I guess is sort of getting beyond a little bit the sort of prospect kind of tag. But in terms of talent, he's perhaps the most talented of the three, at least at this stage in his career, as what he's done so far. He came through Le Havre's famed academy, which has produced a number of French internationals and internationals for other countries too. And he was their best centre-back for quite some time, until half through last season, when he sort of agitated for a move, and he was linked with various Championship clubs then and some in Ligue 1 too, and Le Havre weren't happy with that. The way he went about trying to do that, and they sort of banished him from the team for the rest of the season. So although fit, he didn't play in 2019 for Le Havre at all. Signed for Saint Etienne half through that period with a view to moving in the summer, and then joined Saint Etienne, and it was seen as a very good addition, given that he was linked with English clubs and clubs abroad in other countries too, and other French clubs. He was 21 and an exciting sort of prospect from that sort of famed academy, so it's seen as a really good deal. Saint Etienne, he slotted straight into the team with William Saliba injured. And the coach at the time, Gislain Priton, had taken over in the summer, and it didn't really work out for him. He was selecting a bottom before his last league game, and he got sacked. But Moukoudi did okay to start with, but there was a couple of games where he was sort of exposed positionally. One against Angers when they beat them handily, and him and not just him, to be honest, the Celestin defence capitulated in that game, but he was at fault for a couple of those goals, at least a couple in sort of partnership with others. But I think he is a good defender. He's an out-and-out defender, I would say. He's not the type of defender that's going to be spraying balls around all over the place and playmaking. That's not to say he's bad technically, but I wouldn't say it's his key attribute. He reacts well to danger. He's very quick. He uses his pace well to sort of cover defenders, get across to cover strikers. Get across the near post quite often, and reads and reacts to play pretty well. He's a tall, sort of strapping defender. Has played in a 2, has played in a 3 at Saint Etienne this season. They've been switching between the 2 under Claude Puel, who took over from Gislain Priton, but he's fallen out of the team since Puel took over, although has got some minutes because they've had so many competitions in both cups and Europa League as well. I think he's probably better in a 2 rather than a 3. I think that kind of suits him a little bit more. I think perhaps on the right of a 3, he might get a little bit exposed positionally, which I think is probably a little bit of a weak point for him. Sometimes positional play is not great. As I said, he tends to react to danger pretty well. I think that he should considering that, I think he should probably slot into the Championship relatively well. There's obviously a little bit more space in the Championship than there is in Ligue 1, and I imagine that it's not the type of league where he's going to have to be sitting back against the wall. Odd goal decides a game, and a slight positional error is going to cost his team points. In the sort of hustle and bustle of the Championship, his style and his pace will probably help him. So an interesting signing, a good one. No option to buy, as we understand, but that feasibly could change in the summer, and potentially a really good signing for Middlesbrough.